How you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of the Boss Talk and Beyond podcast. I am DJ, the host, and today we have
Simone.
How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing, DJ?
I'm doing well. Let our viewers know like a little bit, about what you do, and yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, so I'm a fractional COO
Okay.
and the CEO of the Chief Alignment Agency.
Okay.
So we specialize in helping creative CEOs, equipping them with the business structure, the team leadership, and CEO development that they need to scale their businesses.
Okay.
I started my first business about 16 years ago.
Okay.
And throughout that process, I've been able to work with over 50 brands, helping them earn an additional $1 million in revenue.
Okay.
So I really love what I do and bringing structure to creatives.
No, that's amazing. We're definitely going to dive deep into that. But first, excuse me, where are you from?
So I'm from PG County, Maryland.
Okay.
I was technically born in DC, GW Hospital.
Right. Okay.
But
Okay.
definitely raised in PG County.
Okay.
I've been there my whole life. Even now, I'm still on the border of Montgomery County, but still very much in PG County, Maryland.
Okay. And so, I guess kind of getting into it, like, growing up, when did you, I guess, start getting into, I guess, the entrepreneur spirit?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So I'm trying to give you the cliff notes.
Yeah. I want the long story. I want the whole story.
So I remember growing up, my mom, I had an older mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing that she struggled with was doing her girl's hair. And I remember saying, like, I got to do something about this. Like, I got to take matters into my own hands.
Right.
And so growing up, I went and got my paralegal and legal secretary certification, worked at a law firm, and I was like, I hate this. Like, I can't stand this. I don't like that I can't take the time off that I want.
Right.
They got all these rules and regulations that I don't understand.
Right.
These people are not nice. I was like, well, I remember my mother used to say I should do hair because I always just grew up doing my own because I didn't like what she was doing at the time.
Right.
And so that's what I did. That was my first business.
Okay.
I owned a mobile hair salon, which later turned into a salon suite, which later turned into a standalone like basement salon in my parents-in-law's basement that still is standing today, actually. Then I transitioned over to makeup artistry.
Well, I don't mean to cut you
off.
No,
do it.
Cut you off at the same time. So talk about that, right?
Yeah.
So we're going into that transition of you doing, salon work. So talk about the beginning of that, and let's go into the story of like how that continued to build.
Yeah, of course. So I remember sitting one day at the law firm, and I was like, I really just don't like this. My sister sat in the cubicle next to me, and she started her business at that time. She is a brand strategist, but at the time she was just doing web design.
Right.
And I was like, Tony, you have to create a website for my hair salon. She created the website. Back then, Craigslist was popular.
Right. It was.
So I'd be on Craigslist posting stuff, and people would come, and they would book me. And eventually, and I just took the leap and was like, I quit one day from that office job.
Right.
And from there, it just naturally progressed. I had a roster full of clients. I had brought in one of my best friends and taught her how to do hair to assist me. Then I brought in my little sister, taught her how to do hair to assist me.
Right.
And eventually traveling from one place to another just wasn't going to work. I ended up having children and things like that, just too much time. So we moved into that single salon space. So over the years, we just kept growing. We had good customer service. We made it easy for people to book with us.
Right.
And so people kept coming back because we did good work, and our salon environment was the right type of culture they wanted to be in to relax.
How did you acquire those clients? What was your best form, I guess, of gaining those clients from that business to come to your business?
So first Craigslist when I first started out,
Okay.
Then word of mouth after that, like friend tell a friend tell a friend type feel.
Right.
And then that's when social media then became a thing.
Right.
And then we would promote on Instagram when they had the chronological feed, and it looked a lot different than what it was today.
Right.
Eventually, I learned how to build a newsletter list, and that became a really great lead source when we were running specials and promotions. We had this thing that we ran called the Crochet Sleigh.
Okay.
And so
What's that?
So once a quarter, we would run a special where we would do crochet braids for $100.
Okay.
Our girls were really quick. It's three of us. We get people in and out in about an hour. They would come with their hair washed, $100 in cash. we get in an hour. And we end up working with 16 women in one day. So people would just come for the crochet sleigh.
Right.
So I would send out that blast email. People would book immediately. We'd be up for about 14 hours.
Right.
But it made so much money, and our clients loved it because they needed their hair done quick and cheap.
Right. How did you grow? Like, or what was the time, or you can answer that, and then what was the time span to see that growth since first starting?
That's a really great question. And I'm not even trying to be, to my own horn, but it felt immediate.
Okay.
Back then it was so much easier to market for your business.
Right.
Now, today, the salon just has like a following where we don't need to.
Right.
We don't advertise anymore.
Okay.
We are capped at a certain number of clients, and that's it. Hi, my name is Simone. I'm a fractional COO and the CEO of the Chief Alignment Agency. Over the past 16 years, I have worked with over 50 brands, helping them scale to an additional $1 million in revenue. If there is something that I have found out for sure, is that it is impossible to hit those type of goals without a team. The time of doing business alone is over. But the problem is that many entrepreneurs are not taught how to build a team, how to hire for their business. But that's okay. That's why I'm here. The best starting place is the Aligned Hire Toolkit. This toolkit not only teaches you how to hire, but also gives you all the resources you need to hire efficiently and effectively without starting from scratch. I have a deep belief that finding the right person in your budget for your team and your goals is very possible. This belief is founded on data that I've been able to hire over 150 people for my clients. It's time for you to not only build your team, but to find your next aligned hire. And the Aligned Hire Toolkit will help you do just that. So head to my website, chiefalignmentagency.com. Look for the Aligned Hire Toolkit, or follow me on Instagram at the Simone Little.
All right, I'm sorry. If you remember, go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Yeah, no. You're good. No, I was just saying that we didn't have to wait for like an uptick of business per se. Like when we opened our doors, the demand was almost immediate to the capacity that we had at the time. So doing any more would have meant we were over capacity. Doing less, obviously not favorable. But yeah, so I think that from us traveling to actually being in the salon, I think that was maybe about a little less than 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's amazing. And so when you guys were, first started, did you guys have like a discount or something to, like you guys were saying, if you bring a friend, or if a friend lets us know that if you, so-and-so, recommended me, like they get a certain discount, or did you guys just like, you just started that discount later on, and then that's how you saw the growth? What was that acquiring of the first, few customers to bring more people into the business?
I would say know your market and know your competitors.
Right.
So we didn't have to do that because we're competitively priced for our price point.
Okay.
So when someone would recommend us, they would go online, look at our prices, compare it to someone else who was in the industry, and be like, girl, your hair looks good.
Right.
The prices are right.
Right.
I'm going to go. Right.
Okay.
And so I think that really speaks to, a lot of, there's a couple different ways to market, right?
Right.
So you can have the marketing where it's like, okay, I'm priced high enough where I can give discounts. My bottom line can afford the discount over the next, quarter period versus actually we can't afford to do that, but that's okay because we're competitively priced and the value that we bring to our clients is so great that we don't need to give discounts.
Right. Okay. All right. So moving from, the salon, right? What was the next thing you got into?
Well, I am a mother. I have 2 kids.
Okay.
But with my second kid, I could not work behind the chair anymore in the salon.
Right.
So I remember I was talking to my little sister about it. She says, well, you should run businesses virtually because that's what you do for the salon.
Right.
We do hair. You run the business.
Right.
I was like, you have a point there. You made a good point. And so in true fashion, I called my older sister, hey, I need another website. That's how all good businesses start in my family. I need a new website.
Let's get the ball rolling.
Exactly. And I became a virtual assistant back when virtual assistants weren't as big.
Right.
So kind of the beginning of the wave of that.
Right.
And so my first client, I remember talking to my friends first.
Mm-hmm.
Had a couple friends that owned a couple of businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And again, competitive prices.
Right.
And I was like, hey, I'm starting this business. I would love to help you in this way.
Mm-hmm.
So my first client, our relationship lasted for 3 years. We worked together for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she owns a local bakery. And so although I was an assistant, I was setting up systems for her.
Right.
It's like, okay, your CRM, your ordering, all of those type of things. Let's get all of that in order. Let's make it easier for people to order with you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it easier for you to quote them, and let's get the ball moving in that way.
Right.
Although I was branding myself as a virtual assistant, what I was doing was not virtual assistant work.
Mm-hmm.
But it took me a while to get to that place where to realize that.
Right, right. Did you have a niche for the virtual assistant? Like, I know there's different type of assistants. What was that niche that you had?
Yeah, so back then, I did not have a niche. In my business
Okay.
now, I definitely do.
Okay.
You know, you iterate, you learn lessons, right?
Right.
I just knew that I wanted to work with people who had a need, and I needed to make money. I'm going to be very honest. I was pregnant. We were down to one income with me not working in the salon, and I was like, I just need to make money.
Right.
And if I love it, and if it could turn to something more, great. But
good.
I need to make money. And sometimes for entrepreneurship, that's how it starts. It starts with a personal need. We need something in our personal lives, and we use our skills and gifts as entrepreneurs to kind of fuel that.
Right. Okay. Okay. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. So again, going from there, what was the next step?
Yeah. So from there, the type of work I was doing continued to change. But I remember there was one point, I believe it was right as the pandemic was coming, 2020, 2021. And I remember having 22 clients as a virtual assistant.
Okay.
And it was just me, and I had like one assistant.
Right.
So your girl was working from about 7 a.m. to about 2 a.m. 7 days a week.
7 a.m. to 2 a.m.
It was insane. And now
that's crazy.
I had money,
right.
but I was burnt out.
Yes, I could see it.
Mind you, I had 2 kids.
Man.
I was at home with my kids during the pandemic and didn't even see them because I was working.
He was working all the time.
Yeah, so I took a leap.
Right.
And I fired all the clients.
Okay.
And I said, that's enough. I went on a 6-week sabbatical.
You needed to, you gotta take that break. Go ahead, yeah.
I remember furnishing my kids' bedrooms and doing all the fun mom stuff. But then I really took time to figure out what it is I am good at, how that translates in business, and how I can help other people.
Right.
This is the part of my business where I feel like I became the most intentional with what I was doing.
Right.
And so I joined a mastermind group, group coaching group, and that put me in a space with high-level CEOs and with other people who were trying to do the same things that I was doing at the time.
Right.
And I rebranded. I came back as a productivity coach and a fractional COO.
Okay.
Since then, I've dropped the productivity coach and just kind of put that into my work as a fractional COO now. But those 6 weeks really afforded me the space in the breathing room I needed to figure out what I wanted instead of just kind of going with the flow.
Okay. So dive deeper into that just a little bit. Why fractional CEO? Like what spoke to you? What I don't know, but like why fractional CEO?
Yeah, so I looked at the trajectory of everything that I had done over those past few years with my clients. I was like, okay, I've been giving them marketing strategy, I'm giving them operational strategy. Some of my clients had an idea and I just built it out. Like I literally built a whole cosmetic brand.
Right.
Like I just built things out for my clients. I was also the one that they always leaned on when they needed something, when they needed to vent, when they had a business issue, whatever the case was.
Right.
I was that person. So when I did research and figure out what does that skill set equate to, it was a COO. And when you look it up in I think it's like the Harvard Business Journal and things like that, the definition of what a COO does, it is the most flexible yet kind of undefined position within a company. People bring in COOs to help young CEOs and train them up. They also bring them in to train them to take over the company. They bring them in to take things off of the CEO. And all of those things I was brought in for at certain points.
Right.
So I was like, this feels like a natural transition. So I thought about it. I used that group that I had that was helping me become a better CEO. And what they were teaching us, how do you pitch your client a new service, a new offering?
Right.
So some of those clients that I stepped away from, I went back to with this new offering.
Okay.
I think 5 in total, and 3 of them hired me back on at a higher rate in a new position in their company.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Excuse me. So you took the 6-month sabbatical.
6 week.
I mean, I'm sorry.
6 months would be awesome though. That'd be great.
Excuse me. You took the 6-week sabbatical. How long after that 6 weeks did you gain your first client, as the fractional CEO?
So the 6 weeks was intentional. I was like,
Right.
I'm taking 6 weeks.
Right.
At about the 1 month mark is when I started pitching, because I was like, I know the time period that my money runs out. So I can't wait till the end of the 6 weeks to start like making a couple of moves.
Right.
And right when I came back, my client started immediately.
Okay. No, that's amazing. That's amazing to have loyal clients. That's
Yeah.
like, hey, yo, we know we need you.
Right.
We seen the work that you've done.
Yes.
And like, we want you to come back, and we're glad to have you back.
It's amazing.
Okay. No. Now, did your time change, right? Because you say you was working from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. Did that time change? And how did your clients feel about that time change?
Yeah, well, they felt fine with it.
Okay.
Because I was working with less clients. They had more of me. I was working probably from like from about 9 to 4.
Okay.
Some cases 10 to 4. Like
Right.
I had a lot of flexibility in my schedule.
Okay.
I got to get up, do my makeup for the day, be on
Right.
camera, had time to market my business now,
Right.
and just really flow into work. And that made it so I could give my clients the best.
Right.
They had the best of me, the best strategy, the best implementation, the best thoughts, and that is what made me an even stronger value add to them.
Right. Okay. No, that's amazing. And so let's actually dive into what a fractional COO is, because I know we're saying all these, these letters and everything. Some people may not know, like what is a COO? So like, what is that?
Yeah. So a COO, the letters stand for Chief Operating Officer.
Okay.
And so that is the person who is responsible for running the business and implementing the CEO's vision.
Okay.
Many people think of a COO as a Chief Operations Officer. It's not operations, it's operating. We're not there just setting up SOPs and systems and things like that. That's lower level strategy. We do higher level strategy where we actually can run every aspect of the business for the CEO and make sure that what's in their mind, what they want to see, can come to life with the results that they want to have.
Right. Okay. And then adding fractional to it, what is it?
Part-time.
Part-time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
I got you. So I know you have multiple clients within your day, right? So how are you able to, I guess, manage every client to make sure everybody's happy? And then I guess it's a two-part question. Do you have I was gonna say like you meet with one client one day and then another client another day, what is, I guess, talk to me about that work scheduling and how is that, so you don't burn out, because that's another part about having a business is that burnout. So yeah, talk to us about that.
Yeah, that's a really great question. So I'm a big fan of scoping my week out ahead of time. I have standing calls with my clients, mostly on Monday, some on Tuesday, but then I also run teams. Okay. So I do one-on-one coaching with leaders within the teams that I'm on.
Okay.
And so I have my 2 days a week where I try to take not many calls, Tuesday and Friday, so I can actually get the strategic heavy work done.
Right.
And then the other days are dedicated to, checking on KPIs, doing analysis for other types of products and services, doing research, talking to other stakeholders, trying to win over contracts or grants or things like that.
Right.
For my clients, that happens Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Okay.
And so what happens is that sometimes on Friday, I play my cards right. I got a half day, and I can play hooky, and nobody's looking for me because everybody's happy.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Okay, and then you kind of touched on something too. What are KPIs? Again, another set of letters that some people may not know. What are KPIs?
Key performance indicators is what it stands for.
Okay.
There's a couple other acronyms that people use, but it's really just the numbers or the data that tells you if what you want to happen in your business is actually happening in your business.
Right.
So what are the things that you want to see in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years down the line, and what data do you need to help show you that? So it's an easy example to break it down is like money, right? We are entrepreneurs, we want to make money. That's what we do.
Right.
So say you have a financial goal that you want to earn, $10,000 in revenue every month, or let's take that for example. So then what indicates that you're on track to make 10K by the end of that month, right? So what have you sold by the 15th of the month? Have you set a marker that says, I know I'm on track if I've sold 8K in product in the middle of the month to get me to 10K.
Right.
If you've sold 3, then maybe that lets you know I need to go back and reevaluate my marketing strategy, or I need to see if people owe me money and I got some overdue invoices.
Right.
Whatever the case may be, but the KPIs is the indicator that lets you know if you're on the right track or if you're not on the right track. Okay. And it can also apply to your team members. So is this team member doing what I need them to do? You have someone, say in sales and marketing, you have a social media manager, for example, and their goal is to increase your followers. That's their KPI, follower increase, but it has to be specific. So I need 1,000 more followers in the next 30 days who are engaged, meaning that I have an uptick in people commenting by 3 comments per post. I don't know, anything. Right. That's that team member's KPI that they're supposed to reach, regardless of the work that needs to happen on the back end.
Right. No, I love that. So it's crazy because, because I'm actually a marketing manager, right?
Oh, I love
that. So we deal with KPIs all the time, and I guess within my own focus, right? And I didn't even think about the outside focus of KPIs. I'm only focusing on like the social media realm of KPIs. The impressions, the likes, like you said, the following, the everything. So I've always just learned that to be KPIs, and I guess I don't know why I just had tunnel vision like this is what KPIs is. When I forgot that there is actually a broader, way about KPIs that people are also tracking, like you saying within team members, within, the owner's perspective, all of that. So thank you for sharing that actually, because like I said, I'm learning things as well as everybody else. What would you say also is like, as, a strategist as well, are some things that businesses may have trouble with within their businesses? Let's start with that.
Yeah, there are a couple of different things. I think one thing that I'm really focused on right now, though, is teams. Okay. So a lot of freelancers haven't hired before. I mean, a lot of CEOs haven't hired freelancers before. Right. And that's usually their introduction into hiring, and instead of having employees, having a freelancer that works with them. Or a lot of my clients have bigger businesses. They're running 7-figure companies, and they have leaders, but they don't understand how to develop those leaders to actually run the company productively, or they don't understand what their missing link is from a personnel perspective. And so I find that to be an all-around bottleneck for businesses, just hiring. Some people have just been burned. They've wasted some money on a bad hire, and when I really stepped back and thought about why is this such a problem, I realized that CEOs, entrepreneurs, we haven't, unless you're coming from like an HR background, we haven't been taught how to actually develop a team, how to hire a team, who to hire first, how to manage them, how to onboard them, what they need to be productive and actually generate whatever the thing is that we want them to generate for us. We haven't even been told how to set a number of tasks and scope a role correctly. You have your social media manager answering emails. Like, that's not...
Right. No, that's big actually, because I have a candle business, right? And I was in the mall selling my candles at a kiosk, and getting team members or getting people to come in and sell the candles for me when I have other obligations, like going out to maybe an event and selling candles, that was kind of hard because like you just said, like I didn't know how to acquire the right personnel. I was able to get somebody to come and help me, and she was definitely a blessing while I was there. But getting somebody as well as just more people to actively come in and sell the candles, and and actually want to sell the candles, and that's one thing. You say I want you to sell the candles, but I actually want you to sell the candles are two different things. So finding those two different type of people, I will say, was kind of hard. So knowing that, right, knowing how hard it is, what are some things that you will say for people that are looking for or looking to acquire the right personnel to come in and and work with their business?
Yeah, one of the things is getting your mindset together. Okay. Twofold. One, a new hire is a time investment. Right. So yes, this person is going to save you time and do all the things. Right. But that's only if you invest the right amount of time in them in the beginning. The second thing is a mindset around the person that I want not existing. There are no unicorn hires. Right. The person you want exists. But there has to be a certain level of belief in that, because when the first person doesn't turn out right, or maybe your first set of applicants aren't what you thought they were going to be, it can be discouraging and you want to just toss the whole thing away and be like, you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm just going to keep doing everything on my own as I was before. So those are two like really big mindset shifts that I've been helping CEOs through more recently. But some other things that I always ask them to keep in mind is, what does the onboarding process look like for them? Like, you bring them in and you say, all right, you show them here what to do one time, and you expect them to understand it and know it from the one time that you showed it to them. People are very smart. However, they might know how to do what you do, but not how you do it. So
that's a bar right there. I like that. Go ahead. Say that one more time, man.
People might understand how to do it, but not how you do it. Those are two different things, right? So you being in marketing, you know, someone might know how to manage the social media account, but how do you want your social media account to be managed?
Right.
Those are two different things.
That is true. That is true.
So that's something that I'm like really trying to get entrepreneurs to understand. You have to take the time to onboard them correctly, and that's where the time investment comes in. You need to set up a training guide for them. Right. That's one thing that I like give to all my clients who I'm working with. I have a training guide template, and it breaks down what a possible first 7 days will look like inside of the company, and you deliver that to the person so they know what their expectations are. Right. And even within that, there are KPIs. So you know in the first 7 to 10 days if this person is going to work out before you invest even more time and more money in them. Little test projects.
Wow.
Call them.
What are some things to look? So, like, say we're in the interview process, right? What are some things to look for as you're sitting there with, you know, the potential employee? What are some things to look for to, you know, I guess know if they're the right fit in that sense, right there?
So there's a couple things that I like to do. When I run an interview process, I set up in a project management tool what is called an applicant tracking system. The acronym is ATS, so you might hear ATS a lot, right? And it can be used in any project management tool. There are two specifically for it. But I make sure that I have my questions written out and I grade them. Every person gets the same questions, and you get a ranking based on your answers to those questions. So I think about, how deep did they go with the answer to that question? Is this the base level answer? Sometimes we need to hire people who are smarter than us. Like, there are certain, you know, deficiencies we as CEOs have. You might be really great in one aspect and not so great in another. Right. So if I need to figure out how deep their knowledge is, and they're giving me information that I already know, they're probably not going to be a fit. I need you to know more than me. I need you to show up in that. I'm also looking for things like availability. Flexibility if needed. I'm also looking for personality fit too. Right. I know we need to hire based on skill first, but personality second, because I work with small businesses, and that means likely you're touching that person in some way. Like, you're going to have to speak to them, you're going to have to interact with them, and you don't want to be like, oh, dang, I got to interact with this person again. Right. They get on my nerves. Well, you didn't hire somebody to get on your nerves. You hired your own trouble.
Right. No, that's definitely important. That's definitely important. Okay, so what are some things, I guess, you've seen marketing-wise with these businesses, and how? Well, actually, no. Let me back up, because I had another question.
Okay, go for it.
How important are goals within a business?
They're important. They're the most important. The most important. Because the CEO is supposed to have the vision. The vision comes with a goal.
Now, let me separate it a little bit. Which one should come first, a goal or a strategy?
A goal.
A goal, okay.
You can't have a strategy without knowing where you're going. The goal tells you where you're going. And so the vision, like, usually the CEO is like, this is how I envision this being. That's them giving you what their goal is, or how they want something to look. At least for me, coming from like a CEO to COO, that's what I typically get from them. And from there, I have to chop it up into different departments, different initiatives, different functionalities, and people within the business, making sure we have the right resources for that. But definitely, to answer your question directly, without a goal, the business does not run the way you want it to, because you don't know where you're headed.
So that's important, knowing where you're going. And okay, and then but along the way, the goal can change, right? And that's okay, right? If the goal changes, or you speak on that.
There's something that I like that I like to say, right? You always have a purpose, but the plan can change.
Okay.
So that means whatever the purpose is, whatever the goal is, that typically stays somewhere about the same.
Right.
But how you get there, that course of action that you take, that is what will change quite a bit within it. So typically my CEOs, they're like, I want to be the number one X, Y, and Z.
Right.
They're not going to change it. Be like, on second thought, I want to be the number two.
I get that.
They're not typically saying, I want to make $1 million and then saying, you know what, 500K. I mean, they might say 2 million, but they might say, they might expand the timeline. The goal is they want to make a certain amount of money, right?
Right.
So typically the goals, the big overarching goals, don't change. But those mini goals, which are the KPI targets within the bigger goal, do sometimes shift and change according to what the data coming out from the implementation looks like.
Kind of going off of that, how many mini goals do you suggest a business having? Because, some people can set so many goals, some people can set 2 less goals, or just have, whatever, one goal, one main goal. But how many would you suggest having?
4 per quarter.
4 per quarter.
Yeah.
For different ones, or it can be, I'm guessing different ones,
yeah,
right?
Typically different ones. 4 is a good number to go from. Some people will have 3, but once you start getting into the 6, it becomes a lot to manage. You realize that maybe your resources are outpacing the goals that you have. And so we want to be realistic, but also push a bit past realistic, but not all the way to unrealistic, if that makes sense.
That does.
So yeah, about 4 per quarter is a good place to be in.
Hey everyone, my name is DJ and I am the host of the Boss Talk and Beyond podcast. This podcast is for entrepreneurs. It gives them a platform for them to share their services or products. It also gives them a platform for them to tell their story. This podcast is also for you as a viewer. Feel free to be inspired as you listen and gain any knowledge that any of these hosts or guests are able to, give to you. We hope you like and subscribe and follow us and enjoy the rest of the show.
So the one that we chose first was his way. He wanted to go the long route, and so I'm sitting there trying to get all the things together because I'm in charge of the budget. So I'm like, I have to do the things. And so 2 weeks go by. Our budget is still higher than we need it to be. Like, we're kind of hemorrhaging money a little bit, like we need to slow it down.
Right.
And so we're on the phone late one Friday night, and he's venting, and I'm like, yeah, you should just let me just like go in there and like start chopping something. Listen, I promise that it's going to be a lot better. He was like, listen, going with a scalpel, not a machete. I'm like, all right, yeah. I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm a little, I can be a little aggressive. It's fine. And so, like, when I say this is recent, this is like 2 Fridays ago. This is super recent.
Okay.
And so I was going out of town this past Monday. And so I looked at all of our budget, looked at what our team cost was, and I started trimming the budget down.
Right.
I messaged everybody, hey, here's your hourly allotment, here's your focus. I don't need you to try to do all the work you were doing for less hours. I really just need you to focus. Let's have some focused energy behind it.
Right.
This week, this is first full week, we're on budget.
We're on budget. It only took 2 weeks. That's crazy. That's good.
And so, so when it comes to strategy, when it comes to good strategy and bad strategy, you have to understand what you need to happen now and what you need to happen in the future, right? So right now we need to save costs. So in the future, we have money to spend to increase our costs, to hire more people, to have the people we have more time within the business. But if we wait to do that, we're going to keep running out of money. And so good strategy means that you're looking at what needs to happen right here in front of you, but also looking at how it affects what you need to happen in the future and making sure that you understand what those sacrifices are.
Right.
It might be time, it might be money, it might be stress. What are you willing to sacrifice now to get to that future goal?
I want to ask you as well, when does somebody or an organization, know that they need a COO?
Yeah, that's a really good question. One, they have the budget. I mean, that's one important thing. Because there might be markers to say you need it, but you don't have the budget for it, right? But 2, it's really when the CEO can't actually sit in their seats and they have to spend a lot of their time managing the team and putting out fires. So if you're sitting there managing your team, like let's say you have people, maybe you have a project manager, you have, someone in your marketing, you might even have like a bookkeeper or accountant, and you're still doing client delivery, right? And so when the CEO gets to the point where they're like, I'm doing a whole lot in my business, this is too much, that is a good key indicator. So this happened to me recently. I onboarded for a company about 3 months ago. This amazing guy. He creates films for like websites for independent films. He's out of the UK. Great guy. And so he likes to code. Like, that's his thing. That's what he likes to do. But he was so busy managing client communication, putting out fires, trying to get things together that it was all consuming.
Right.
In 3 months, I was able to come in, audit everything that was being done, set up a new way of doing it, train and manage the team to get it done. He said to me last week, he said, I'm sorry I was late for our meeting. I was coding. I haven't had time to do that in the past year and a half. This past month, I've done that more than I've been able to do in the past year and a half. That's why he hired a COO.
Right.
So he can do what he loves. And that's why I like working with creatives, because you guys got passion. I like money. You guys have passion.
Okay.
So he can sit in his passion, and the company still makes money. There are less client emails. We're not getting requests to fix things every day, every once in a blue moon. But it's been great. He's sitting in the seat that he wants to in his company.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. How do you acquire these different organizations and companies? Like, what's your way that you acquire them?
That's a really great question. There are so many different ways. There's some word of mouth that comes through for sure. Right. I get a lot of that. LinkedIn. And not even like LinkedIn, like, connections, like, talking to people on LinkedIn, right? I'm starting to get into that. But applying for jobs on LinkedIn. Once I talk to someone, we get into a conversation, we can actually see what actually fits. But that's a really good place as well. Upwork, people sleep on Upwork. People think Upwork is for $10,
What is Upwork?
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay. So Upwork is a place that freelancers live and you can hire them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
From all across the country.
Okay.
It's amazing.
I see. Okay, Upwork. I wish I'd have known it, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, you got to check that out.
Okay.
It's not paid. Not paid sponsorship for Upwork. No, I'm joking. But on Upwork, I've gotten high-paying clients from Upwork. Long-term high-paying clients.
Okay.
And then Threads is actually a really great place for me. I think that's how we met, right?
Yeah, I'm on Threads. I'm just trying to get everybody on Threads.
Listen, it feels like a community right there.
Right.
So being able to really pour into people and start conversations and work those connections, and then in-person networking as well. Right. So I go to a couple of different places.
Okay. So let's talk about your system within, in what you do. So you've talked to somebody, talked to an organization, talked to a CEO or a business owner. What is that method of acquiring them within your now organization?
Yeah. So typically, we go through the discovery process, right? Which is really me just learning about what they need. My job in that time is to listen to them. Right. Likely the CEO doesn't feel like they've had someone to truly listen to them and understand what it is they're feeling and they're going through. And that's part of my value for my companies that I work with. I listen. And so that's the first thing. From there, I'm able to craft a proposal that meets their requirements. We've already talked about budget at that point. I try to kind of get that out the way up front, right? Craft a proposal, craft a timeline, craft what the KPIs would look like for me working with them. And typically we're working in certain sections. So working in business structure, are we working on team development and hiring? Are we even working on like personal one-on-one CEO development to help you become a better leader? And so we kind of fine tune that out. And then we start working together. I start all of my clients typically in those higher level services with a VIP day. Okay. So we deep dive into everything that's going on inside the business.
And that's the first day?
That's the first day.
That's the first day, okay.
That's the very first day.
Okay.
Because I can't... So I've worked with a couple of service providers who say they do some type of strategy. But what happens is they start making tweaks before they understand what's happened inside the business before they were there and a good grasp on what's happening now. So they can't actually give them the type of help that they need as quickly as they would like it because they're suggesting things that they may have already tried before and their data shows does not work for that company. Right. So that's why I start with that intensive first.
Okay.
I want to understand what you've been going through, not just where you are right now, but then how did you even get there? What things have you already tried? How do you feel about the people that are on your team? What's your seat of motivation for how you run your business? What's most important to you as the CEO? What are your non-negotiables?
Right.
All those things I need to get out in that first conversation.
Mm-hmm. Did they ever, trip up a little bit over some of those questions that you asked them on that first VIP day?
Like what?
Like, do they trip? Like,
oh, do they trip over?
Yeah, do they trip? Like, it's like, I just never thought about that,
I've had tears. That's the main, again, they haven't been talked, so like, I'm asking deep questions, and they're like, oh, that's jarring.
Right.
And so it gets really emotional
right.
On my calls typically. So there's a little bit of therapy there
right.
sometimes happening, and if they don't know, there's nothing wrong with not knowing. Like,
we can eventually get there.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather you say you don't know than to make something up and now we're on the wrong path.
Right. Because you was asking me some of these questions. I'm like, hey, I know this question. So that's why I was asking that. I was like, do they have trouble answering some of these questions? Because like as CEOs, right, nobody is asking us because we're the ones doing.
Absolutely.
We're the ones, hiring out and having people do. And like, nobody's really asking us like, hey, like, what are you trying to do? Is this important to you? Is it, like you said, is this a non-negotiable? What are your non-negotiable? So that's why I was like, that's why I had to ask that question. I'm like, it can be hard sometimes, knowing as a business owner, like, it's, one, like you said, it's okay not knowing, but then also, going back and figuring it out and doing that research.
It feels good to be listened to, I find, as CEOs. We don't get to talk about our business and our love enough to other people who can understand, especially not someone who's going to be inside of our business. So, the whole, like, oh, I haven't been asked. So I'm like, yeah, that's great. Actually, I love that because now you actually get to express yourself and you have space. And usually that takes a lot off their shoulders, too, once they get to actually verbally process what's been going on.
Right. I want to move into kind of like the fulfillment side, right? So how do you talk to me about that, fulfilling the needs of others and seeing them accomplished, but then, how does that make you feel?
Oh my goodness. It is the best feeling ever. Give a couple of examples. So I remember I was working with this construction company. He brought me on. He was doing everything, including the renos that he was doing, flipping the homes. It was crazy. He was doing so much. And we had a contract with another agency who was giving us all these projects.
Right.
And we worked together for about 8 to 10 months. Before we worked together, he was doing all the things, and I think his max revenue was like $100K. In those 8 to 10 months that we worked together, it transformed into $300,000. And we were outside of this area and went over to like the Philadelphia area to also do more. We won more work. And that's because we were able to get our back end together. We were able to hire people. Like, it just felt so like, it's like we're doing business. Yes, we're doing it and we're not feeling stressed about it. Like, it is amazing. I low-key have quite a few examples like that of just like the transformation that a business can go through when the CEO isn't the one holding it all together and they actually can see their goals come to life. And that just lights me up. It makes me feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Right.
Is it now? Let me also ask you this, right? Is it easy to do what you preach to others within your own business?
Absolutely not. So you remember I was talking about the hair salon. It's like, I don't know if you've ever been to a hair salon, maybe with a mom or a sister or something. You look at the hairstylist and the hairstylists don't got their hair done, but they're doing everybody else's hair. That is how it feels like with every business owner. It's really easy, even for me to do this for you. But my hair looks crazy. My business, it doesn't look crazy, right?
No,
but
I get what you said.
it's not as easy, right? Which is why I get into like programs and things like that to help me. All right, let me apply these same things to myself. And honestly, sometimes I spend so much time on my client's business. I'd be like, oh, I gotta
do this right.
Me too. I gotta take some time out and work inside my own business. And that's kind of where I am right now. Really trying to amplify the work that I'm doing, working with more businesses, and I'm really excited about it.
No, trust me, I definitely understand. Because before I became a marketing manager, I was doing, when I first came down here, I was doing, my business is called DJ Curry Photography and Social Media Management. And so I was handling social media for Hip Hop Fish and Chicken, amazing food company, and a healthcare system, some other small businesses. And I was doing it for them, taking these pictures, doing these videos, helping them go viral here and there and stuff like that. But then I'm looking at my page, I'm like, I can't forget me too. like it's like so, and they hire me, right? Because they don't have the time to do it, and they're focusing on doing this and doing that, and and doing all these other things, right? And so, and that's kind of how I felt, right? It's like, I'm doing all these other things for people. I actually want somebody else to do mine. Even though I know how to do it and I can do it, but I want somebody to do it. I need a social media manager of my own self. So that's why I kind of posed that question, because, I just wanted to know, like, you're doing everything for everybody else, but, it can definitely be hard to do it for ourselves, or forget about ourselves because we're focusing on everybody else's time and giving them all the energy. So
right.
I definitely appreciate you sharing that, because like nobody's perfect. No business is perfect. It may seem like, they're making a lot of money, but that doesn't mean that they're perfect, though, at the end of the day. Like, everybody still has once you overcome one struggle, there's always going to be something else. But it's staying in that lane and making sure that you're steadfast and persistent and consistent with what your goal is, and also with the strategy that may alter or shift, but as long as you stay on that path, it can definitely continue and grow into something big. But no, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, of course, we've gone through your journey, right, of, becoming the person that you are today. I've been asking this to everybody, like, what is something that you would tell your younger self, let's say about, 20 years ago or something like that?
It's so funny that that's the question that you asked, because I just came out of a business program sponsored by Goldman Sachs, right?
Okay, yes. Yeah, I saw that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I did see that. Yes. Yo, that's amazing.
Thank you.
No
And one of
problem.
the amazing things that they did is pair us with a business advisor.
Okay.
And so she pulled all type of stuff up out of me, and I was like, ooh, girl, this is a lot. But it pulled up where my roadblock is and what I would actually need to tell my younger self.
Right, okay.
Which is, you really need to amplify the work that you do. Stop trying to be so humble in business, because people don't know about you. And it's okay to be loud.
Right. Right.
And so that's what I would tell my younger self, like, pop off. Like, it's okay.
It's okay.
You're doing good work. Let people know. Don't be so content with holding it so close to your chest. Let people know all the amazing work that you've done.
Right.
That's what I would definitely tell my younger self.
No, I definitely understand that. Like, I had to learn that too, right? Just being myself. Like, because I learned that when you're yourself, people like you more because you're being natural. You're not trying to, code switch or whatever, like, just because you're in front of somebody else. Like, even business owners, they just want to, if anything, want to be able to talk to somebody natural. Like, they, sometimes business owners go throughout a whole day, have a staff, have employees that come up to them and have to perk up a little bit because they're talking to a certain level, when they really they really want somebody just naturally speaking. And sometimes you get where you want to go within, if you're an employee with that CEO, because you were able to just be your natural self with him, because that's what they just want. They want somebody that can let them just chill and just be relaxed and just, be able to talk to you on a natural basis. And that's kind of what stuck with me and grew, since doing the social media business, is I just told myself, like, one, I'm going to always be loyal. My morals are always going to be right, my ethics and all that. But I'm going to always be my natural self. Like, it's like, my guy over at the restaurant was cool, like the manager, or the owner, and so we was always kicking it and just having a good time, and he knew that I was regular. And I tell people, like, just let me know whenever you need, hit me up whenever. It's never gonna be a bothersome time. Like, this is who I am. I'm a relaxed, chill person, and that's the energy I'm gonna give you. I'm never gonna, like I said, switch or do anything, because that's not who I present myself to be, and that's not who I can be, that professional person, but that's not who I want to be all the time. It's like, let's talk about it, what you need, and let me go show you that I can do this and make this happen for you, in a creative way. So I definitely appreciate you for sharing that. And so, what is next? I do want to ask that though.
Yeah.
What is next for your business? Where do you see yourself going? I guess you can give like a next year plan, and then give like a 5-year plan or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So right in front of me, my agency website, it's about to launch. So chiefalignmentagency.com.
Okay.
You can go on it now. It's actually already launched. We're just tweaking it on the back end before we make the big announcement. So I'm really excited about the resources that I have there for my clients.
Right.
A year from now, my goal is to help 20 different brands to bring in new talent in their business or to be able to operate as a better leader for their existing talent.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's my goal next year.
That's
It's
amazing.
very ambitious, but there are multiple ways I can do it. I offer done-for-you hiring service. I offer CEO development and team training. I also offer digital resources to help entrepreneurs get there too.
Right.
So I'm really excited about that. Now, 5 years, I actually want to retire.
Okay.
I
love that. I love that.
I think we talk about retirement like you have to be 65 plus to do it.
Nope.
No.
I'm trying to retire in 3 years.
Listen, hey, that's what I'm talking about. So that's what I want to be. I want to be retired in 5 years. You know, I could do some speaking here and there if I want to. I'm just trying to be on the beach somewhere with my husband. My kids will be, you know, almost ready to leave the nest at that time. Like that's what I'm trying. That's where I'm trying to be.
Okay. Oh, no, I love that. I love that. Are you? Let me ask this: Are you looking to hire next year?
Oh yeah.
You know, if anybody's watching, like, where can they? Is that on your business? How did they get in contact? Or should they be looking out for like a job posting? Like, what are your avenues? Where can people reach that?
Yeah, so when I hire, I always post on my social media at the Simone Little.
Okay.
So you can definitely find out about opportunities there. I have an operations coordinator, operations assistant right now who's been on my team for over the past year.
Okay.
As we build out, I won't need, my goal probably a year from now, I'm going to need another strategist like me because I won't be able to hold all of the strategy. Right now, I'm actually hiring for visibility and outreach manager.
Okay.
So I have this number right now. It's also on my, actually, no. I posted that on Upwork.
Okay.
So also Upwork too, right? Just depending on, you know, what the position is. But yeah, I'm always trying to bring in new talent. I look at my budget, my bottom line, and I say, okay, when I get here, then I can hire for this role.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, we definitely appreciate you for joining us on the podcast. Please, I know you just said it, but please tell us all the different avenues where we can reach you via social media, via Upwork, of course, but right, yeah, just all the different avenues in your websites as well that we can all reach you.
Yes. So you can reach me on Instagram. I'm at the Simone Little. Shoot me a DM. I will respond back with probably a voice message because I love to have that personalized connection.
Yes.
My website is chiefalignmentagency.com, and you can email me at hq@chiefalignmentagency.com.
No, that's amazing. And like I said, we appreciate you having you on the Boss Talk and Beyond podcast. Again, we do have some different information on the description box down below. We are currently doing this podcast at the Focus and Creatives event space in Baltimore, Maryland. So definitely also look in the link below to book your spot. Come and tour this space. This is an amazing space right here. And like I said, thank you guys for viewing. And again, thank you. I know I just said it about 3 times.
No.
But again, that's just me. That's me. I'm not afraid to be saying that. But again, thank you for joining us. And we definitely appreciate this conversation, man. So definitely you guys contact her. And she's an amazing person, as you guys can already see. And we look forward to more communication and networking. So
yes, forever in the community together, DJ. Thank you for having me.
No problem.